listening to Ray Path Productions. I'm your host, Chloe Folan, clairvoyant, here on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. As always, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to everybody who's taken time out of their busy evenings to tune in and listen to the show or watch the show live. And of course, I would like to extend that warm welcome to everybody who will be catching the show after the live broadcast due to time zone differences. A very warm welcome to you as well. I will be taking calls as part of Ray Path Productions show this Tuesday evening. But before I do, I just wanted to discuss very briefly the current moon phase that we are in the Northern Hemisphere. We are currently in waning moon phase in the Northern Hemisphere. And as I mentioned before in two other previous shows, for a few years and right up until last year, in public groups once a month, deliberately at waning moon phase, and I'm going to start doing these again next year, I would facilitate chakra release, healing, clearing meditations once a month for public groups. So the groups would always start in March and end in October, and it would be one release center meditation per month. So coming up to September, and this was always very deliberate because we are now in fall, we're now in autumn, it's about letting go, winding down, taking a step back. For the group that would be facilitated in September, it would be the Crown Center working with Archangel Zadkiel. And the focus of that meditation in group facilitation would be releasing past life vows. So I'm actually very excited to talk about this evening and to offer up just a few tips for anyone that would like to maybe try this over the next few nights of the waning moon phase, because it's lovely, it's safe, it's very healing, it's very cleansing. That if this does appeal to you over the next few days over the waning moon, if releasing past life vows appeals to you, always say a prayer that aligns you with your higher self first. Put yourself in a bubble of light, and then like that, the space you're going to use, make sure the room is physically clean, give it a vacuum, give it a sweep, give it a good clean, and then to raise the energy, because that's important, and I'll explain why in a minute. In the room you're going to work in, then safely burn candles, play some music, light some incense, really, really raise the energies by really putting thought and effort into what's in your room and what's helping to raise the energies in the room you're going to do this in. Then have a sit down with a pen and paper and think about if there are any current vows or past life vows that you feel could be affecting you right now that you would like to let go of. So very simply, you can write down, can Spirit and Archangel Zadkiel please help me release any work past life vows or current life vows that are no longer serving me? Or may Archangel Zadkiel and Spirit please help me release any outworn vows around poverty, if you think it might be a financial issue. Or like that, you can adjust it for past life marriages as well, or past relationships in the current lifetime. So write that down. And the reason why it's Zadkiel that's worked with is Zadkiel works with the violet ray. So he would be a very good archangel for transmutation, for deep release work, for deep past life and current life vow release work. So write it all down and then think about how that's impacting you. And then safely fold up the paper and burn it and give thanks for any healing received, or rip up the paper and throw it in the bin, whatever's safer for you and whatever works best for you. Spend a few moments giving thanks for any healing received, known or unknown. Spend a few moments grounding. So just feel golden light going into your feet, and then have something to eat or drink to help further ground and settle your energies. And why that's important is what a lot of people don't realize is when you make an agreement to take a job, because that is essentially a vow, you're promising to take a job and fulfill a contract, or like that when someone gets married, or even in promise ceremonies that people do, or engagements, or like that any time where there's a lot of energy and a lot of thought put into a vow or a promise, the energy raised at the time that promise is made, or the time that vow or oath is made, to then energetically cancel that vow, the same energy equal to or more than needs to be raised. So like that, when someone is going for a job, there's a lot of excitement, there's anticipation, you've thought about where you want to work, where you want to be, where you're trying to get to, you've gone for interviews, you're nervous, you're thinking about it a lot, and then there's the excitement that if you get the job and, sorting out the finer points of your contract. And then even if you leave on good terms, you transition into another job, usually that same energy is not there when you transition into a different job. And even though it is important to pay attention to what's written down, so this brings me back to where people pay attention to what's written down on paper. People kind of don't really notice or pay attention to how energetic ties are just as important as making sure physical, legal paperwork ties are all clean. So like that, I'll say that again, anytime a vow, a promise, or an oath is taken, to energetically have a clean break from it once that vow is no longer needed or no longer applies to your life, the same energy needs to be raised to energetically release it. So it's very good every so often, even just once a year, to sit down at the September waning moon phase to think about what vows, what promises, what oaths you might have made that you're no longer doing or are no longer applicable, and to do a little bit of release work around that, very gentle, nice release work, just to let it go energetically, even if you've already physically let go of it or entered into new contracts or anything of that nature. Always pay attention to deliberately raising energy to energetically release the energies as well, not just worrying about whether it's been physically or legally done right, making sure that energetically those same vows have been released properly as well. So like that, I hope I've offered up some interesting food for thought and some interesting safe tips to try at home yourself, or like that with family or a friend. It's very cleansing and sometimes a lot of fun and very interesting to do vow release work. And as I've said before, September waning moon phase is the best time to do that. On that note, I do have a lady calling in, Louise in Birmingham in the UK. Can you hear me?
Hiya.
Hi, Louise. Very lovely to connect with you. How can I help you, Louise?
It's okay. I've been waiting nearly a week for a reading to be done. I gave my details and I've just been waiting.
How can I help you? What's your question, please? Is there a question that you wanted to address in the reading?
Okay. Oh God, how do I say? Well, oh God, I don't know. I need to know if I have a gift. I know I've got a gift yet. I'm surrounded by a lot of bad negativity at the moment, and I just don't know what way to turn. Is my spirituality awakening or what?
No problem, Louise. I'll tune into you, and I'm going to do a little mini tarot spread for you as well. 2 moments,
Thank
please,
you.
just to give you some advice.
Thank you. That's brilliant. I'm going to do like a tarot reading and that.
Okay, definitely,
Right.
Louise. I'll just go through the cards one by one. I'm clairvoyantly tuning into you as well, but I want to go through the mini reading that I've done for you as well. Definitely, the present card I have is the Five of Pentacles. So right now, yes, things are a little bit tumultuous, and it would be you would be finding it difficult to kind of move forward. When the Five of Pentacles comes up as a present card, I always tell people, rather than trying to force moving forward, take a step back and focus on what needs to heal. So where the issues are, so your answer lies in where the issues are, that needs to heal for you to move forward. You can't move forward without those areas being healed. And I even have as a hidden influence the Hanged Man card, which basically is a card that crops up when someone shouldn't be forcing change right now. So the Five of Pentacles coupled with the Hanged Man card means right now, don't try to force anything. Don't try to push anything. The only thing that should be focused on right now is healing the problems, healing the issues. And this is where I want you to take some time out for yourself, because I have, for the advice card, I've got the Nine of Swords. And when that card comes up, it shows a woman who's very stressed out, who is not getting a lot of sleep, who's definitely feeling very plagued by a lot of negative thoughts, who's finding it a little bit hard to have any type of headspace. So this is where I want you to ask yourself, and of course I'll be giving advice on this as well, what do I need to heal? So like that, if you wanted to get a little bit of counseling done, my goodness, please do. If you wanted to attend a workshop that explores healing trauma, please do. If you wanted to attend a workshop that deepens your ability to work with the angels and at the same time releases hurts. So definitely in the UK, I do know there are integrated energy therapy trainers, meaning IET. It's called IET for short. It's something I'm qualified in, but you have to see someone in person for the training. So I definitely want you to look into see if there is an IET, integrated energy therapy trainer in your area. They do exist. There's a lot of them in the UK. It's quite a big community in the UK. So I do want you to have a look to see if you would like to attend some integrated energy therapy workshops, which offers a lovely blend of techniques that help heal, that help release imprints that need to be healed, and also at the same time teach you very healthy, safe methods for how to deepen your connection to the angels. So definitely I want you to have a look into integrated energy therapy training. Also ask yourself if maybe some counseling would help. Just being able to talk to a qualified counsellor to talk through some of the issues that have you feeling overwhelmed, to help get some perspective. And definitely have a look to see if there's anything you can do, even just in a small way, to help yourself, where another very gentle meditation that you can do yourself at home would be especially for helping sleep. Before you go to bed at night, get a pen and paper, put yourself in a bubble of light, and then write down everything bothering you. So write down the negative thoughts, write down what's plaguing you, write down what you're finding hard to switch off from, write it all down. And when you've written it down, fold up the paper and feel all of that aggro leaving you and going into the paper. So you're going to do transference. You're going to transfer all of that aggro into the paper, feel it leaving you and going into the paper. And then when you feel unburdened, rip up the paper and throw it in the bin. And then go to bed, and you will find it easier to go to sleep. So I want you to start doing that every night, on top of looking to see if just seeing a counsellor for a short period of time will help, and also looking into some integrated energy therapy training with a trained IET trainer. So that would answer your question over a safe way for opening up your own abilities and skills. Integrated energy therapy is a very safe modality for how to connect with the angels, deepen your connections with the angels, work with the angels for self-healing, and also then working with others. So definitely, I do believe that things will come together for you, but a timeline on that, like that, in total, it's not that it will take 3 years for everything to be okay, but it is going to be a 3-year journey to get exactly to where you want to be. So things will happen in between that will assist you on your journey, but you know how you can it'll be like feeling like over the next 3 years, if you follow some of the advice that I gave, it will feel like you're walking on stepping stones, if you get me, where you know you're moving in the right direction, but you know it's just one step out of a few. So over the next 3 years, that's how it's going to feel, where if you follow the advice, you will feel like things are getting on track, but in stages, to where it will lead up to in 3 years' time, if you definitely work on yourself and work on where you need to heal, in 3 years' time, you will be far more centered and anchored with where you want to be in life. And I've got the Empress card as the likely outcome card. So the Empress card is a 3 card, meaning that's where I'm getting the 3 years. And the Empress card also represents all forces coming together to create a third desired outcome. So in total, 3 years for everything to feel like it's all come together and you're exactly where you want to be.
Well, I keep seeing repetitive numbers, 1111, 333.
Yes,
like all that.
Those would be angelic numbers.
69,
so,
69 I've been seeing for years. 69, 69, 69. Even if I look at my back sugar percentage, 69 for years now.
Yes, so that's also why I'm mentioning angels, because those numbers would have angelic connections.
Right.
Louise, I hope my advice has helped. I do have to bring our reading to a close because I have another lady on the line. So Louise, yes? I hope my advice has helped. Please do follow the advice. And like that, do enjoy still seeing those numbers. They are angelic messages. And definitely enjoy the healing process and enjoy putting your energy back into what you need to heal. Have a very good evening, Louise.
Thank you, darling.
You're very welcome. Take care. I believe we have Charlene in Virginia, USA. Sharelle.
Yeah.
Sharelle, you're most welcome. How can I help you? Do you have a reading question for me, please?
Just a basic love reading.
Just a love reading, no problem. Sharelle, 2 moments. I'm going to tune into you clairvoyantly as well as draw some tarot cards. 2 moments, please.
Okay.
Now, Sharelle, this is I've done a card spread here and I'm tuning into you clairvoyantly. Sharelle, like that, this is where I've got a query. I'm getting the impression, and it's also showing up in the cards, that there is somebody there, but are you unsure over the relationship, or is this someone that you're hoping to have a more deeper relationship with? Because like that, there does seem to be somebody there, but I'm just not too sure how serious it is, or whether this is more you hoping that this will develop into a full relationship. Can you clarify for me? Is this someone that you're hoping to have more of a relationship with, or is this somebody? Yes. So this is someone that you're hoping things will work out with.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that, I would give it time. I wouldn't make a snap decision. I believe one of the reasons why you've been finding it difficult to work out whether this relationship is right for you is this relationship does feel like a fresh start. So like that, sometimes we do need to meet somebody new just to help us feel, good, just to help us get into a good place with feeling good about having a relationship, being in a relationship. So this relationship does need time to see where it can go.
Okay.
So like that, don't straight away get too hung up on whether it will work out or not. This relationship has shown up for a reason. This will really just help you really get back into the flow of a relationship, feeling, good in a relationship, understanding, being in a relationship again. So there is goodness there. I'm looking at the advice and likely outcome card. I'm not too sure because I've got the Five of Swords here as an advice card. I'm not too sure whether this will end up being long term. It's possible that after a couple of months, that this relationship might just amicably part ways, but it's still very 50-50. If it does end up amicably parting ways, it's not a loss. I'll say it again, this relationship was meant to come into your life. You're meant to be having this experience with this person, and it does have a reason for being there. Do you know what I mean? So I want you to enjoy this relationship while it's there. I want you to, really enjoy this relationship. Don't worry about whether it will last or not. I do have reservations where I do think it might end in a few months' time. But if it does, it will end amicably. I do believe it will remain friends. But the relationship was there just to trigger you, being able to feel good about being in a relationship, being able to enjoy a relationship again, being able to experience a relationship. So even though I'm really not too sure whether this is your forever person, this person has come into your life to just inject some romance, to just get back on board with things, so to speak, to get back into the swing of a relationship, to feel good in a relationship. It's meant to be for that reason.
Okay.
Is that so? Like that,
Yeah.
if it does come to an end in a couple of months, don't worry about it. You will meet somebody again. You will, and just to draw a few cards on that, because we've got about 3 minutes left. So I just want to give a bit of advice on if it doesn't last, when the next relationship will come around. So I believe this relationship will last for at least 5 months. And then if it does come to an end, I do believe you'll meet somebody about 5 months after that. So you seem to be going through 5-month cycles. So just to be very quick about that, because we've only got 2 minutes left. If this relationship doesn't last, but I still want you to enjoy it, it might come to an end in about 5 months. If it does come to an end in 5 months, you'll meet someone about 5 months after that. Charlene, I hope that's helped, and I hope that's been of assistance to you. I do have to bring our reading to a close because we only have 90 seconds left. So lots of blessings to you. Enjoy the current relationship and just do enjoy where it does go. Love is there for you.
Okay. Love and light to you. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Sharelle. Take care.
You too.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who called into the show for a live reading. Thank you very much for calling in and supporting the show. It was a pleasure reading for my two ladies. As always, it's always a pleasure giving readings, but thank you, ladies, for calling in and being patient while we established the calls and got the lines for you to call in. Thank you for your patience. And thank you to everybody who tuned into the show. And a massive thank you to my producer, Dave, for his amazing producing skills. Thank you, as always, for your assistance with producing the show. You're a fabulous producer. Thank you very much. So like that, massive thank you to everybody who tuned in. And I hope for those that would like to try the tips that I offered up over the waning moon, I hope you do try the tips that I gave. You will find them enjoyable. You will find them interesting. And I do hope I've provided a little bit of enlightenment for people this week. Please feel free to tune in again, same time, same place. If you want to listen to Ray Path Productions again, here on A1R Psychic Radio Moonstruck TV. It's every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time US and 10:30 p.m. Irish time. It has been an absolute pleasure.